All stations verify ready for launch. FTS.
FTS go.
Props go. ABI.
ABI's go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the NROL-95 mission. SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket is currently awaiting liftoff from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, with liftoff targeted for 3:10 a.m. Eastern Time. Hello everyone, my name is Shraj Lapudi and I'm a supply chain reliability engineer here at SpaceX. Thank you for joining. Today's mission carries a national security payload designed, built, and operated by the National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO. Currently, the range is green and everything is on track for an on-time liftoff. This will be SpaceX's 88th Falcon launch this year and 12th Falcon launch this month. The weather is also green with a 30% possibility of launch weather constraints. If for any reason we are unable to launch today, a backup opportunity is available tomorrow at 2:55 a.m. Eastern Time.
This is the launch director performing hold authority comm checks on the countdown net. TC.
Loud and clear.
STC.
Loud and clear.
NOPS OD.
Loud and clear.
PD.
Loud and clear.
MD.
Loud and clear.
Hold authority comm checks complete.
At the request of our customer, there will be no views of Stage 2 or payload deployment during the webcast. While the countdown continues, let's take a moment to hear about today's mission.
People have always thought that big ideas were impossible until we made them come true. Finding new ways to innovate, helping humanity prepare for the unpredictable on the planet we call home. We see from the perspective of stars. And push beyond to keep the world safe.
Just after
Stage 1, RP1 load is complete.
We just heard the call out for stage 1 RP load being complete. Just after 2 minutes into flight, the first stage will separate and make its way back to Earth. Today, the booster is headed to landing zone 2 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The Falcon 9 rocket supporting NROL-95 is a two-stage rocket designed for the reliable and safe transportation of satellites, cargo, and people. Starting from the very top of the rocket, we have the payload fairing. The fairing is a protective shell that shields the payload from aerodynamic heating until the vehicle is outside of Earth's atmosphere. The shape of the fairing contributes to Falcon 9's overall efficiency, helping to reduce drag during flight. Once in space, the two fairing halves separate and fall back to Earth, where they will be retrieved by a SpaceX recovery vessel to be refurbished and reused on future flights. Both halves of the fairing are flight-proven, with one side flying for its third time and the other for its fourth. If recovery goes to plan, the fairings will be pulled from the ocean and prepped to fly again. Right below the fairing is Falcon 9's second stage, which...
Falcon 9 tanks are pressing for the start of strong back retract.
Starting the strong back retract there. Right below the fairing is Falcon 9's second stage, which features a second Merlin vacuum engine, or MVAC. Below the second stage is the black carbon fiber interstage, and inside of that is where the MVAC engine is located. Below that is the first stage, or booster, which will be fully loaded with about 1 million pounds of liquid oxygen.
Strong back retract has started.
About 1 million pounds of liquid oxygen and RP1 rocket-grade kerosene. The first stage makes up the bottom two-thirds of the vehicle and has 9 Merlin M1D engines at the bottom, which generate more than 1.7 million pounds of thrust. The booster supporting today's mission will be making its 7th flight. You may hear the TE be called the strongback, but the strongback is actually just one of the components of the transporter erector. The TE actually has two components, a strongback alongside Falcon 9 and a launch mount underneath. The launch mount has 4 hold downs that release at T-0. The TE does a lot of heavy lifting as it rolls Falcon 9 out to the pad, raises it vertical, and stays connected to the rocket through the final seconds before launch. It provides fuel, power, telemetry, and command connections between ground systems and the rocket. With those clamp arms fully open, we're just a few seconds away from the strongback reclining away from the vehicle.
Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
There's the call out for LOX load completion. The first stage is fully loaded at around T-minus 3 minutes, and the second stage finishes about a minute later. The strongback is fully reclined at this point. At this stage in the countdown, the rocket is nearly fully loaded with about 1 million pounds of propellant. That includes rocket propellant 1, or RP1, a highly refined kerosene, and liquid oxygen, or LOX, chilled to roughly 300 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. Coming up next, we should hear LOX load complete.
Stage 2 LOX load is complete.
All right, we just heard the call out that liquid oxygen for the second stage is now fully loaded, completing propellant load for the upper stage and prop load overall. Falcon 9 is now fully loaded with 1 million pounds of RP1 and liquid oxygen, or LOX. Coming up next, we should start hearing the call out for gas closeouts.
Ground gas closeouts.
Gas closeout has started, and that refers to venting and closing out gaseous systems, such as topping off tanks and sealing vents to maintain pressure. Coming up in just a few seconds, Falcon 9 will enter startup.
Falcon 9 has entered startup.
At this point, the autonomous flight computers have taken over the launch countdown, and stages 1 and 2 are pressurizing for launch. We're just waiting now for the final
MD
go.
is go for launch.
There's that final go call out from the launch director. Let's sit back and watch as Falcon 9 takes NROL to space.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff. Go Falcon, go NROL-95.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressures are nominal.
At T plus 30 seconds and counting, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. The vehicle is now throttling down the engines to prepare for max Q, the point of...
Power and telemetry nominal.
Awesome. As we're hearing that, we've got nominal telemetry there. We're just preparing for max Q, which is the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure
Falcon
during
9
descent.
is supersonic.
Max Q occurs when the combination of speed and air pressure puts the greatest stress on the vehicle.
Max Q.
There's that call out for max Q. Coming up, we have several major events in very quick succession. There are main engine cutoff, stage separation, second engine start, boost back burn, and fairing separation. Main engine cutoff, or MECO, is when all 9 engines on the first stage shut down. This is followed by stage separation, where the first and second stages...
Back chill has started.
After MECO, we have stage separation, where the first and second stages are pushed apart. Immediately after, the second stage engine will ignite to continue pushing towards orbit. This is also known as Second Engine Start 1 or SES 1. Shortly after that, the first stage will perform a boost back burn, putting it on track for landing, and then the 2 fairing halves will separate and fall away as they're no longer needed to protect the payload once in space. We should hear the start of the callouts in just about the next 10 seconds.
Main engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC startup.
Stage 1 boost back startup.
And there we heard the callouts for MECO, stage separation, SES1, and the start of the boost back burn. Coming up next, we will have fairing separation, where both of the sides of the fairings are going to fall off. And remember there that they are both flight proven. As a reminder, we will not be showing any views of stage 2 today at the request of our customer.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There's the confirmation of fairing separation. Coming up, we should hear the call out for boost back burn shutdown on Falcon 9's first stage.
Stage 1 boost back shutdown.
Confirmation of boost back shutdown. If you're just joining us, you're watching live coverage of the NROL-95 mission. To recap, Falcon 9 lifted off on schedule at 3:10 a.m. Eastern Time from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida and had a successful stage separation. Up next, you'll be seeing the booster landing. In order to make its way back today, Falcon 9's first stage has 2 more burns to execute. First up is the entry burn, which helps slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper part of Earth's atmosphere. And then, following that, will be the entry burn. The booster will initiate a landing burn, which will slow the vehicle even further for a soft touchdown at Landing Zone 2 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The entry burn is set to begin around the T plus 6 minute mark. During the entry burn, Falcon 9 is decelerating by firing its Merlin engines in the direction it's moving. This causes the rocket to fly through the engine's exhaust gases, which deposits a layer of soot on the vehicle surface. This is what gives SpaceX's flight-proven vehicles their characteristic look. That soot comes from carbon-based fuel that Falcon 9 uses, and with each flight, that soot builds up a little more on the outside of the vehicle. Falcon 9 is still more than 1 minute away from the beginning of the entry burn. The booster is equipped with 4 hypersonic grid fins, which are positioned near the top of the first stage and used for steering as it returns to Earth. These are the primary aerodynamic control surfaces for the first stage during atmospheric reentry and descent. Grid fins are a critical part of Falcon 9's reusability system. Reusability is key to lowering the cost of spaceflight, enabling more investments in critical space infrastructure. The Falcon 9 first stage that is supporting today's mission is performing this entry burn for the 7th time. Falcon 9 is moments away from the beginning of the entry burn. You should see the graphics light up as the engines do on the bottom of your screen. We should be just seconds away from an entry burn call out here.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
There's the call out for the entry burn startup on the Falcon 9 first stage. This burn is set to last about 17 seconds and again is slowing down the vehicle in preparation for its final burn and landing.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
We just heard the call out there for entry burn shutdown, signifying the completion of the first stage entry burn. Coming up next will be the first stage landing burn at about T plus 8 minutes.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
This is the final burn the booster uses to reduce the...
Stage 1 FTS is safe.
Stage 1 transonic.
This is the
Stage 2 STF is safe.
Stage 1 landing burn.
That call out means this is the final burn this booster will see before landing. This final burn uses...
MBAC shutdown.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Nominal orbit insertion.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
There's another successful landing for Falcon 9. As mentioned at the top of the program, we will not be showing any Stage 2 or deployment views today at the request of our customer. So, with the successful recovery of Falcon 9's first stage, we'll be bringing today's live mission coverage to a close. We'd like to thank the National Reconnaissance Office for entrusting SpaceX with today's mission, as well as the range and the FAA for their support. If you're interested in more launch coverage, head on over to spacex.com/launches for the most up-to-date information. While you're there, check out the departure board for details on SpaceX's upcoming missions. And of course, remember to follow @SpaceX on X for ongoing updates. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you again soon.